Hello my friends, and welcome back to my channel for another tarot pick a card reading. In today's reading, we're diving into your current reputation. What are people saying about you behind your back? What are you known for right now? So without further ado, if you need to get yourself into a receptive mode or need to know how to do that, I should say, you can check out the link below to my video on how to pick a card using your intuition. But once you are there, we have our group 1, group 2, and group 3. Timestamps are provided below as always. I'll see you at your time. Hey group 1, let's get started with your tarot pick a card reading all about what is your current reputation, how are people viewing you, what's being said behind your back. So we have a few cards to place right away. So we have the 9th house. We have the 10 of Pentacles. We have the Knave of Chalices. The 3 of Chalices. We have the Priest. And then we have money, teeth falling out, and buildings to get us started. So I'm noticing a lot of spiritual energy that I think is finding its place in reality. I feel like there's a lot of inner work that you've been doing that is trying to show up now in your current life. There is some stresses about that though. I am kind of perceiving this like, I don't feel like I'm there yet energy from you, but at the same time, I feel like you are being perceived in the light of someone who is rather abundant right now, who has a lot of different avenues, perhaps for money, or you're using your skills really well right now. I feel like you're being noted for a lot of the skills that you have right now and are just finding a lot of pleasure within using those skills in your day-to-day life. However, there does seem to be this degree of like unsettledness, like I was saying, of just not feeling like you are there yet. But yeah, let's get into this more. With the Priest here, it says facilitates a spiritual commitment, serves as a channel of spiritual energy. And then with the 9th house, that's saying, that's priest energy as well. So there's something here about having this kind of spiritual energy residing within you that's kind of working its way out. It's being known by a lot of people right now. And I think people are just aware of kind of the good nature of your energy in a lot of situations. With the 3 of Chalices, I just feel like you have been a really helpful person to a lot of people. I feel like you've let them see how to experience a more vulnerable life in a lot of ways. And honestly, there's a lot of different ways you can take to do this. I am seeing kind of like a spiritual or higher minded approach. So perhaps you are someone that you change the quality of things, I want to say. Like you change people's perception of the quality of things and maybe their overview of how things, like how valuable certain things are. Like there's a freeness to your energy that I feel like is pretty unique. A lot of people don't necessarily recognize that as being something valuable until I think they have someone show up and be like, this is valuable, you know what I mean? Like it's just something that's out of the norm that you're doing and kind of communicating with people that's helping other people, I feel like, come to realize more of what like they can do to build their own value, if that makes sense. So that's why this comes off kind of spiritual, I want to say, is because there's this element of like, I don't know, like, because spiritual energy a lot of the time meets people where they need to be met. You come through in a way that's very evidently like, it's kind of giving me like this vague vibe of where it could fit many different scenarios, many different people and whatnot, but it hits and resonates specific to each person. So there could be a lot of what your skills are that show up to people right now, like showing that energy, this energy of abundance, of knowing how to kind of take something that's more vague and make it apply to the specifics, and finding a lot of satisfaction doing so, I want to say. So let's pull you guys some more cards here to see what else is going on. The Knight of Cups. There is this like, I was going to say, there's this big like emotional energy that we're seeing come up here, where I feel like you are acting from a very feminine place, a very spiritually driven place right now. So people are seeing you as having this kind of undertone of high value and inner knowing that you're working through. You know, with this teeth falling out card here, and the Knave of Chalices, they kind of give the same energy of like, maybe you aren't 100% certain that people are going to accept this kind of energy that you're coming through with, despite as much as sorry, I can't talk. Despite as much value as you feel like it might have, there's something here about it not feeling like it's clicking with other people or something, or worrying about that. I feel like, you know, like look at what's happening with this card here. He has a lot of like misunderstandings, I feel like, that are happening around him, and it has to do with some kind of emotional energy because we're talking about chalices. So it's maybe, you know, maybe there is this perception of like you have a lot of passionate feelings about things and other people. Honestly, this gives me kind of a love triangle vibe too, and with this priest energy coming through, and like what I was saying about kind of meeting people, there's something about your energy where I feel like you can kind of like fluidly entertain different situations, and that could be really like physical situations, people, that sort of thing, where I don't think you're super tied down to anything, and that's why I was feeling like this multiple avenues of like income or something like that. Like maybe that is something also people are kind of aware of for how you're living your life. But there's something here where you've built up enough stability in different areas where I don't think you need to worry too much about like, I don't know, like feeling good or something like that. Like feeling good seems to come quite naturally to you. You have a lot of faith, and you're being perceived as having a lot of faith, but there is this kind of underlying worry that is coming up because these cards are undertones here. So that's interesting. Maybe it's a worry that other people aren't going to see the value of maybe an emotional energy that you bring, or maybe that there is something where like people aren't seeing the value of a relationship, something of that nature. Like there's only one small part that I feel like people are kind of noticing that there's something going off on, or what? I can't talk. That's so this energy though. I feel like there's like such a strong feeling that I have, but I can't put it into the right words. And I feel like maybe that's what's happening here. That's kind of a perception that's coming out. Because we have the Five of Wands here. So maybe there's been some conflict in your, you know, recent past or just right now. And I'm noticing the blue for both of these. So there is this emotional undertone that I think is plugging things. And I feel like maybe there is like a wound coming up for you, feeling like you're not good enough, or like you are being misunderstood on purpose or something like that, even though you have all these clear resources that show that you know what's going on. I notice here too, it says violates the trust of your spiritual community, seduced by your own spiritual role. So, you know, this is reminding me of like selling yourself to the highest bidder, or feeling like if like somebody has to believe you in order for it to be a fully accepted offer type thing. So if you offer something to someone and they don't accept it, and it leads to this chaos energy, like there's something here about you not having super sure confidence about that, about like what you're giving to people. Yeah, we have the Page of Wands here too. So the passion energy is really, really strong here. I want to pull another one of these archetype cards. We have the Exorcist, which says freeing yourself and others of destructive impulses. Okay, that's the thing here. I feel like you're playing kind of an interesting game to people right now in their eyes, because you seem to be kind of one-tracked mind, but in a lot of different areas where it's obvious that you have your feet in like your feet. It's funny, I was going to say your feet. That's interesting though, because feet is like spiritual energy. So I was going to say put your hands in a bunch of different baskets, but if it's your feet, it's like you are spiritually involved in a lot of different areas of your life. And that's what I was picking up on. Like maybe you are someone that is really attuned with like astral travel or meditation, or just any kind of like ritual healing type vibe, where you go and you do a lot of inner work. You know, this is something where you do a lot of energy work, and you come out on the other side having to kind of showcase that internal power in a lot of the time in conflict. You know, that's where this power actually shines, I feel like. And you've run into maybe conflict recently where it's like can I be accepted for what I'm bringing here in my authority or not? Because I also think of like teeth falling out. Teeth often have a lot to do with this kind of stability or security that we feel. So maybe there's something about just not feeling entirely adequate at times that people are picking up on your energy or talking about. Or maybe that's also them not feeling adequate with you. I feel like, if I could see this here as you bringing up something to people that is trying to free them from some destructive impulses that they have in their life, that could bring conflict instead of resolution a lot of the time. And I feel like, as much as you want to bring a resolution to situations, that's not always how it's perceived. Sometimes you're perceived more as bringing conflict. And I think it's natural for you to bring conflict in relationships, I feel like. Not necessarily for a bad reason. I just feel like with that priest and the exorcist here, you're someone that is meant to awaken people to kind of a solution, I want to say. Same with the 9th house here. You have a ton of inner resources that you know how to use. And I feel like people are aware about you, but at the same time, like I said, it's just challenging. You're asking kind of a lot of people sometimes is how they perceive it. And that's what this 3 of chalices is to me too. As much as it is this happy, celebrating energy, I think you bring people a lot of bliss, but they don't know how to work with it. I feel like a lot of people feel like they kind of fumble the ball in your area when it comes to things, just because you are so spiritually in tune and not really working from a place that's like disconnected from that part of yourself, where a lot of people are, I feel like. And that's maybe this passed over energy that you're running into, is feeling passed over and feeling like other people don't understand your inner resources. And to be quite honest, they probably don't. We don't always understand why the priest is the priest and how they got to that, journey of being a spiritual guru or something like that. But we still come to them anyways, and we still kind of seek clarity from them. And I feel like that's what your energy is to a lot of people. There's a lot of resources that you've built up, but in the same way, that's kind of a lot of walls for people, because you've already, well, for example, if you've already gotten all the way up here and they're still down here, like that's a big difference. What I'm feeling. So maybe that's where conflict is arising in your life, is because you're just kind of exceeding a lot of people and their expectations and stuff, and almost a way that feels kind of too personal for them. It's like this is pushing people to kind of realize where they have stopped themselves, or where they haven't really entertained their own passions in a lot of ways, which can come out as arguing a lot of the time, I'm not gonna lie, or people just kind of having their petty little comments to make, which this doesn't feel super petty. If anything, I feel like you're being perceived in this light of someone who's really trying their best and is trying to use their resources in a way that makes them feel good and really succeeding on that level, to be honest. So let's see some more energies that we got for you guys, though. Oop. So we have beauty and wonder. We have passion. That's exactly what I was saying. There's so much passion in your energy. We have love. Wow. This is like a very obviously alluring pile. Like beauty, wonder, passion, love. All of that is really kind of whimsical. I feel like people see your energy as, like I said, having a lot of inner resources, being of high value, and almost knowing how to act in that value in a way that will end up causing conflict. It's like, it makes me think of like, if you're going to date the hot girl type vibe, if you're going to date the hot girl, you got to be ready for all the shit that comes with it type thing, like the people that want to be with her and the people that are like looking at her, catcalling her, you know what I mean? Like there's elements that people have to factor in when it comes to your energy, because it's so holistic. It has so many levels to it too. It's multifaceted. It really like pulls on all different levels. And is involved in a lot of different things. So at times, I should say, it makes people kind of question where you're coming from. Like what I was saying about the priest thing, like they don't really get the journey that it took for you to get to this beautiful, wonderful, passionate energy. But, there's still love there for you. There's still a lot of love there for you. I feel like that people have towards your energy, despite the kind of like confusion and chaos that it might cause some people. We have abundance. And we have chaos on the back of the deck. I was going to say, this is very beautiful, but Yeah, it's, you know, and there's opportunity as well, and it's in reverse. So there's something here about you. You're kind of okay, you're perceived as an opportunity, kind of like this, like I said, solution to things. But then when people get wrapped up in your energy, they noticed that this passion doesn't start from anywhere. Like, you have a kind of internal spring within you that is always being kind of tended to and worked with and stuff. So if, you know, people want to be around you, they have to work on themselves too. You're a very loving person. You have a lot of power to give love, but I think you're aware that, you know, situations kind of only call for a certain amount of it before you can spread it elsewhere where it will be more like necessary and needed. I mean, there's so much, it's funny how we have so much abundant energy here. Like, you really do have this internal spring of resources, I want to say, and it's just a matter of really finding the right people to use those with, that I feel like you're kind of experiencing right now, and trying to figure out, like, who is going to accept these insights that I have to give, you know, who is going to fight their demons and not misunderstand me, because that seems to be kind of where you're coming from. So I feel like people are perceiving you as being someone that, you know, has kind of a high standard, not gonna lie, can definitely hold their own when it comes to a fight, you know, not someone that's looking for a fight, but someone who, when the opportunity presents itself to change or to conquer a demon, you're not running away from it. If anything, you stand in your power with love and show the abundance that's around you. You show the opportunity within the chaos, and people are really, really aware of that about your energy. They see you as providing them with also some kind of like beacon of opportunity to kind of help them express this like love more fully in their life. Because like I said, you seem to have no problem experiencing life to the fullest and feeling like there's magic and opportunities surrounding you. And you know, that is just, that's a very alluring quality to you. I feel like it brings people into your energy because you just have this kind of high vibration that a lot of people are striving for. So I love that for you guys, group 1. But if this message resonated for you guys, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up, and of course subscribe to my channel for more intuitively channeled messages like so. If you want to book a personal reading with me though, check out the link below to my snip feed as always, or you can email me, whatever works best. But otherwise, I'm gonna skedaddle, so I hope to see you in a later video. Peace. Hey group 2, let's get started with your tarot pick a card reading, all about what is your current reputation, what are people saying about you, what is the hot tea on you. Okay, let's see what we got. So we have the 11th house, we have the Knight of Pentacles, we have the 8 of Swords, we have the 6 of Swords. We have a Child Eternal. Transport. Deceased people. And Falling. So right away, I feel like you are getting a lot of attention from friends or online in the community or something like that. I feel like over time, you've actually really built something for yourself. When it comes to the community, you have a lot of people that are just supportive of you right now, I want to say. I feel like there's been moments in your life where you may have had more like self-sabotaging moments. This is coming through, but you really learned how to work on yourself and redeem your inner child in a lot of ways. I mean, with Child Eternal here, it says determination to remain young in my wow, I cannot speak, sorry. Mercury is in shadow for its retrograde, so I am struggling, my bad. Anyways, determination to remain young in body, mind, and spirit, ability to see things with fresh eyes. So I do feel like you have overcome a lot of things, overcome a lot of issues that were keeping you held back in mindset. There's just a lot of inner child healing I'm noticing here, and maybe looking at things of the past and deciding where they've served you, not served you, some really basic healing work that I feel like people are perceiving from you. And because of that, you've gained some kind of community, you've gained some kind of support socially that is really helping you feel empowered. With the Knight of Pentacles here, I feel like you are someone who, like I said, has been working on this a long time. You are someone that is really just kind of devoted, honestly, when you start off on a path. I think you know how to do things and do things right. So when you get a passion for something and you want to get started on something, I feel like you almost can't quit. And if anything, it's kind of obsessive. Like, if you like something or are involved in something, you're really methodical. You take your time, and almost to the point where you you might lose yourself a little along the way, I want to say. Like, you really, really, really get invested in the things that you're invested in, the things that you like, the things that you see as being kind of the end goal, and you put in the work. I'm kind of noticing here, like, it's a very similar seam going on, but her necklace is broken here and it's put together back here. And this is the 6 to the 8. So it's like you've really been able to kind of solve some issues that you've had, maybe about communicating your ideas and goals and stuff like that, or whatever it was that you had to kind of get clear on within yourself before you could move forward. You got clear on it. And now, if anything, you might find or attract people that kind of need that conversation to be had with them, like somebody that checks them and says, like, where are you lining yourself up with? Like, what do you see for yourself? So maybe that is a part of your persona online, or just in the public eye in general. Like, you could be someone that really does kind of express this inner child energy that's like, I'm never going to stop growing and evolving and changing and being a different person. Because with this deceased person energy, it does give this vibe of people from the past. And I feel like people from the past do look at you as being someone that is a lot more carefree and a lot more just driven. Just, you have a lot more drive and motivation to get to your goals and to be kind of like I said, the person that's like, all right, everybody, let's go. We're going to make our dreams come true. And that's not maybe a very normal energy for people around you. I feel like there's a lot more conservative people that are around your energy. So you kind of do seem to just come off really like different from people. And as someone who I think has a lot more going for them, honestly, than a lot of people around them. And maybe that's just because of your own efforts, there's obviously different reasons for why people will perceive you that way. Or maybe you quite literally just have more going on than people around you, a lot more in a positive kind of direction. But I don't know, there's something here too about you like releasing yourself from negativity and deciding to just free fall with life, to just love your life again, to love yourself again, and to go after your dreams in a way that's really unapologetic and, like I said, just encouraging to other people. So let me pull some more cards here, see what else we got going on. Oh, we have the Knight of Pentacles again. So yeah, you are definitely seen as a very devoted person. I feel like once you start something, that's it. You're doing it. That is your habit, your routine, what you're all about. And I feel like you found your niche, honestly. You found things that, like, it's evident that you care a lot about them, and you will do what you need to see them through to a positive kind of fruition. And like I said, there's almost kind of like an obsessive element here too, where I feel like you just give your all to whatever you're a part of. You're someone who changes your whole persona, I feel like, to fit the energy that you're currently acting in. And the energy you're currently acting in is a very devoted, hardworking type right now. So that's what you're seeing around you, I feel like, is just, or I guess the people around you, I should say, that's how they're seeing you, is just being really driven, yet also, it's like a driven motivation that has its grounding. You're not someone that's frivolously trying to, always start something and never finish it. Like you carry on and carry through with what you're going to do. Yep. So we have 3 of Wands here. So for some of you, you might live at a distance from a lot of people that you have online or something. Like if you moved away from home, I'm kind of getting that there's a lot of people that watch you and see you expanding and see this kind of slow progression that you're taking in order to grow and to become kind of just a better person, a more well-rounded person, someone that is just on their A game. Like I said, you're making your dreams come true, and people are recognizing that within you. There's something here about making really good plans, honestly. Like, and I say good as in like, people are aware that these are successful steps that you're taking. Yeah, we have the Queen of Wands here. So there's a lot of energy about just being really on your A game and knowing that you are worth kind of following suit with. So maybe that has to do with this like leader like quality. Like I said, you do have some kind of community that backs you and supports you, even if you're not 100% aware of it. And it might just be a lot of people from your past or something, but nevertheless, like there's people that really support you and see you as being a potential leader of some sort, or someone who really is just kind of out there living their best life in a way that makes other people, I want to say like look back at themselves and be like, well, what am I doing wrong, kind of thing. Maybe that's the obsessive energy we're getting here too. Maybe that is coming more so from other people who see you kind of glowing. Oh my God, we have the sun here. Yes, literally see you glowing and see you expanding, and they don't feel that way. So there might be a little bit of a comparison going on, but you're really putting in work. Like I said, you're allowing your inner child to kind of speak for itself, and you're listening to it. And that's why you're going places. That's why you're taking yourself to the places you're taking them. There's a very spiritual element here, I want to say, that has brought you to where you're at. And people are kind of recognizing that. And maybe not so consciously where they're like, oh yeah, like this is why they're doing that. It's kind of like they get these little bits of like what's happening and they're like, oh yeah, like this is perfect for them, just because they've been paying attention though. They really understand. So we have death. Interesting. That's what I was saying. There is kind of like a jealousy coming up here. I'm not going to lie. Like you could be living your best life and, there's people from your past that are seeing themselves as never being able to get off the ground, never being able to like make moves like you do, honestly. Like you have so much determination, so much power, so much charisma. 4 of Wands on the back of the deck, so much support. I mean, yeah. And then we have the 10 of Swords in reverse. Look at that too. Just looking at the phone. There's a lot of people that are just looking at you feeling defeated, honestly, feeling like they are not capable of that kind of change that you've created in your life. I feel like a lot of this is mindset based too. Like spiritual and mindset based, like on a very personal level. And those are very like intertwined too, if you think about it, because if you have faith in yourself and in the world around you, your mindset is going to reflect that too. It's going to show a lot more opportunities that you're perceiving right off the bat, and you're going to have a lot more of like an oomph to do those opportunities. Like I said, if you have this kind of faith in life, which goes back to your spirituality. So there's something here about just being really in a good place spiritually that's reflected in your energy overall. I feel like, oop, I just scrapped a bunch of cards, so hold on one second. Ugh. All right, let's pull you guys some more cards to see what's going on here. What is pile number 2's current reputation? Pile number 2's current reputation. Got a bunch of flyers here. So we have spiritual connection, and we have grounded. Exactly what I was saying, oh my gosh, about how you are very spiritually in tune. You're very spiritually guided, but it's not frivolous. Like you're not jumping all around with this energy. You're finding a good way for it to make itself stabilized in your life. And like I said, kind of taking on a holistic point of view, a holistic like attitude towards things where you're in, I don't know, when you're thinking about the future and thinking about where you want to go, you don't just think in terms of like materialism. You don't just think in terms of like, well, this is what would make me happy. Like you ground all of it together, and people see that as being a very like, I want to say well-spoken, well thought out type thing. So yeah, I mean, you could be perceived as being very intellectually on point or like ahead of people, honestly. There's something here about being kind of ahead of your time. Yeah, complete. Let's get a few more. Resistance and inner child. Oh my God, I'm so dead. So And this is the thing here. I feel like what I was saying, like everything you set out for, you complete. You have no resistance in a lot of people's eyes to what you know is right for you. You follow your inner child in a way that it's provoking, honestly. It makes people realize that they too have an inner child that they should tend to. And, it might not be super comfortable, I feel like, for a lot of people to realize that. I am noticing like the mountains here. So, there's something here about, I feel like you kind of karmically waking people up and having them recognize what their drives are, what their goals are, maybe where their niche might fall, which might not be super evident to them, like that's what's happening, but there is this kind of curiosity I think you stem in people that makes them sort of recognize the container that they're in, and the limits that they have in their life too. Like, where are they setting out to? Like, and that's kind of, it's funny, that's what I'm saying with like the Three of Wands here. It's like, where are you setting out to? What's the plan here? And that's something that you're helping people almost evaluate for themselves. Like, am I happy with where I'm going with this? Is this like truly meant for me? Is this like rite of passage meant for me, I want to say? And rite of passage, it's interesting because this is like becoming aware of a rite of passage or something. With all of this inner child energy, it's like, where can I best express my inner child? That's something that your energy lets people know. And like I said, it's a very spiritual thing. I feel like that comes up for people. It's not something that where they're sitting there conversing about it, because I just feel like a lot of people really don't have that kind of mindset where they can dissect that level of things. But there is something here where there is this awareness that like, okay, this person is kind of triggering to this inner vitality within me. So maybe you go on a lot of adventures, you travel a lot, you just live your life to the fullest. I'm definitely thinking you travel a lot though, just by some of these energies. Like, you're always on the go, but it's growing, there's always like a reason for why you're doing what you're doing. It's not like you're just jumping all around for shits and giggles, like there's some basis for what you're doing, and it makes people feel very inspired by you, but also a little intimidated that this maybe like this is a power that they can't have, something like that. I'm gonna pull some more like messages cards here to see what people are kind of saying here about this. All right, let's see. We have keeping secrets. I don't know who I am. Aggression. I struggle with close connections, and I have a hard time forgetting and forgetting. Okay, so this is interesting because there was people from the past that I said were coming up, and there's something here about people, I feel like, seeing you as being kind of, I want to say an outsider, but I don't feel like you're an outsider. If anything, I feel like you keep people on the outside. You might be perceived as struggling with close connections, or like you just kind of don't have time for anybody's bullshit or anything. But I think what the reality is that you, when you're done with somebody or done with a situation and you feel like it's kind of capped you out somewhere, like you move on. You don't try to define yourself based off of a kind of like perceived loyalty that other people might have with you. And that's what I'm kind of getting with the keeping secrets, coming out with the grounded and spiritual connection. Like, you're someone that's a really good friend, I think, to a lot of people, but you don't stick to just one area. You know what I mean? Like, you don't just stick to one group of friends or one thing. You spread your energy in a way that shows that you kind of have a different mindset about things, and that you don't necessarily, I don't know, you don't always agree with like one group. You like to spread yourself around. So I feel like a lot of people might not understand that about you and perceive you as being someone who is more so just like flighty, I guess. Like, you kind of like move on when you're just pissed off or something like that. But this energy is kind of like more so mirroring energy, I feel like, because your energy is coming out so strongly as being kind of carefree and not wanting to be held back. So I feel like that you kind of move away from a lot of people that are held back. That's how you jump to this next level every time, is you understand kind of the spiritual calling of like, okay, I've kind of got what I've got here. I need to like evolve and kind of find my new path. And I feel like, there could be some, intimidation, or like this says aggression here, just kind of jealousy really, where people, because they don't know who they are, they feel like you are kind of like keeping them in the dark about what you experienced about them. Like, this makes me think of like someone who was friends with someone for a really long time, and then all of a sudden was just like, I'm going to move on. And obviously there's reasons you decided to move on. They're probably more personal though, but like these people could look at you and be like, oh, well, they're keeping secrets about how they feel about me. And, they're actually just feeling like that because of this, when it might not be any of that at all, as much as you were just trying to let go and kind of, let a cycle end, basically. There's something here about being aware of like karmic connections, and, if it's going to benefit my future or not, that's going to depend on how connected I stay to things and how devoted you are. And that's the thing, is like people are noticing now that you are someone that is actually really devoted to certain things. So I think the issue is like not knowing how certain things make the cut, how they can make the cut with certain people looking at this. So that's very interesting, group 2. But yes, that concludes your message about your current reputation. So if this video resonated, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. And of course, subscribe to my channel for more intuitively channeled messages like this. If you want to book a personal reading with me, check out the link below as always to my Instagram, or you can email me, whatever works best. Or it's my snip feed, I should say, is you're going to go to. But other than that, I will talk to you guys in a later video. Peace. Hey, group 3, we are going to get started with your tarot pick a card reading, all about what is your current reputation. So without further ado, these are your cards. We have second house. We have the Star. We have the Hierophant. We have Justice. We have Healer. Children, death or dying, and food or drink. All right, so right away for some of you, I'm getting the vibe that maybe you've gone through a breakup or something, or something's happening with like your possessions. Like maybe there is some kind of healing going on with your possessions or something like that. But a lot of this, I do feel like you're going through like a breakup or something like that. Or people are aware on social media about a connection that you might have with somebody. Maybe there's like subtweeting involved, or like, I don't know, like posts about each other or something like that. And this could also be, I guess, if it wasn't a breakup, it could be getting together with somebody. It's either or, I'm kind of feeling in this, where you're in a connection with somebody and there's something to do with either like possessions in a way of like owning each other, as in you guys are linking up and you're together, or something in the matter of like possessions with another person and you're breaking up and there's issues with that. But I mean, with the death and dying here, it does feel like there is an ending happening in your life. And then the Hierophant just gives this relational energy. I mean, we have 3 major arcanas here with the Justice, the Star, the Hierophant. So there's something here about just being aware that things are changing for probably the better, honestly. With a Healer here, I feel like there's some really interesting judgment calls that are happening here. I mean, it's this passion to serve others by repairing the mind, body, and spirit, ability to heal, or the ability to help transform pain into healing. So maybe there's like I said, a breakup or something going on, or you're able to nurture somebody through something, or I mean, there's a lot of different scenarios, I guess, that are playing out here. But overall, there is this energy of knowing your worth and kind of trying to fight for it, trying to have other people believe in it and see it and work with it in a way that's supposed to bring you some kind of fulfillment. Now, I feel like fairness is also a big thing here too. So people could either be perceiving you as in an unfair situation, or getting something that's owed to you as well. Like, I mean, it just kind of depends, because I am seeing people, like, they're being like sides here. Like, some people are on your side and some people aren't on your side. So that's where this healing energy comes up, is it's just like clearing the way to see what is really meant for you, who is really meant for you. The child energy here is giving this childlike vibe of like, you know, maybe gossip, or like when, you know, an ending happens or something, where you go to your friends and kind of try to gain some kind of vitality back. So yeah, I mean, this gives me the vibe of like trying out your options. So maybe this is truly a breakup that you're going through, and it's a matter of you trying to decide what now, you know, where's your life take you now? And maybe your ex or somebody of that nature, like that's where this possession energy comes in, is kind of like having a hard time letting go of you, or just feeling like, I don't know, there's some kind of control here that I'm kind of picking up. So let me pull some more cards actually before I keep talking. Oop. We have the Six of Swords. Yeah, that healing energy is coming back through. I feel like you're really trying to work on yourself, and people are recognizing kind of a change of pace with your energy. Maybe at one point you were trying to work things out with somebody in particular, but now it's just a matter of focusing on yourself, focusing on your own healing. Yeah, we have the King of Wands here. I feel like you're really standing your ground, honestly. Like, you don't want people to have an ability to kind of like question your self-worth anymore. Like, you're just standing where you have to stand, and you're kind of trying to make the changes from that stable position of like, this is where I'm at with things. Like, you know, we're trying to move on, we're trying to get past, so this is where I'm at. That's what I want to say. We have the Five of Pentacles here too. So that breakup energy again coming through. So I would just say at this point, if it is not a breakup or something of that nature, like a friendship breakup or something that you're going through, this might not be your pile. But I mean, there's something really strong here about a kind of rejection, really, of, like I said, like with ownership or something like that. It's like, this is mine and that's yours. And it's being very clear about that, being very clear that this is where I stand. This is why I feel this way. You know, over time, I've gotten to this place where this is my truth. Yep, the World. This is a long time coming, I feel like this conclusion that you're coming to is a long time coming. It's been building for quite some time. And that's where this healing energy is coming in so strong. You want to move on from whatever is happening in your life, and people are very aware of that. They see you as kind of trying to level things out and to try to make things better, despite any outside forces. Yep, we have the Magician. Notice how much major arcana energy we have up here. Like, you're going through something really big right now. Six of Cups in the back of the deck. I feel like you're trying to heal something within yourself that was just constantly coming to the surface, you know, and you might have just tried to shove it down. That's kind of the second house energy that we're getting here, is just, you know, kind of saving face in a lot of areas of your life. And now you're no longer trying to save face. You're trying to make the right moves for yourself and to try to self-protect in a way that isn't going to leave you vulnerable anymore. I feel like that could be a potential issue that you were running into, is just feeling like you were in a really vulnerable position, and now you're like, I want to fix that. I want to feel like I am capable of helping myself and helping my position, you know. And that's the thing, is when you go round and round and you live some kind of reality, especially with another person for so long, it can be really hard to cut cords with them and to move on from what is happening and to heal that energy, you know, especially if you found yourself somewhat empowered by it, which we all kind of do find empowerment, I feel like, you know, with connections with people, hence why we get in those connections. So there's something here about just learning how to move on from those things. So we have blocked and we have forever here too. So if you guys are in like a relationship issue dynamic that's going on right now, you know, maybe it seems like this person needs to be cut out forever. Like, and other people, like I said, could be aware of this about you right now, that you are ready to be done. You're ready to move on. You know, you kind of see where you've taken things and how things are going to go now. So you're ready to just move past it and move into this more abundant space, I want to say. Yeah, we have heart to heart here. Interesting. Let's get a little bit more. Oop. We have positive. We have ending and friction. Okay, there's for sure a breakup happening here, and one that is definitely caused you to open your eyes, caused you to realize what it is that you truly value in your life. And if this, if those needs are being met, I feel like you've tried to have a lot of heart-to-heart conversations with people. Try to really let people know how they've hurt you. And maybe just not seeing a ton of positive movement through those conversations. That's where friction comes in here, and we have direction. So it's like you're not able to move forward positively because there's other people that I feel like are holding themselves back from that kind of ending. Or, I was getting with this death and dying card, just being like really dramatic about things, like not seeing how things have accumulated, because all of this major arcana energy shows me that this wasn't any real surprise. Like there's something about this energy that they felt, or you felt, for a really long time. And so you're being kind of perceived in this light of somebody who's extremely confident about this ending, about trying to move past it, and like I said, to gain some kind of better feeling than what you're experiencing here. Yeah, empty. There's nothing here for you anymore, and you're being seen as someone who is ready to move on from that. Yeah, separation. Oh my gosh. We have long-term and receive. Yeah, you're ready to receive some abundance in your life. You're ready to move on. I feel like you're making that kind of well-known on social media. Like I said, like if there's some kind of like subliminal messaging that you're doing towards each other or something, like it's getting across. Whatever kind of message that is being put out there about how things are going, like I think you're being seen clearly in the way of, like I said, that you're done here, that you don't want to deal with this anymore, and that you're not happy anymore. You're not receiving what you want to receive in the long term, and you're willing to change positions now. I feel like you weren't for a really long time. I feel like you were a fighter. You really wanted to try to see things through and to heal problems and to just patch things up, but you're kind of recognizing that's not possible here anymore, and you honestly don't want it to be possible here anymore. I feel like you're ready, like I said, to be done and to not have to go round and round anymore and fight for something that's just not resolving. Yeah, we have mirroring in the back of the deck. So maybe this was obviously a very karmic energy that you were in and acting with somebody else, and you've come to the realization that that's no longer working for you. So you've done, the shifts to change and stuff. So I feel like a lot of people could be seeing you in, like I said, this split dynamic of like, oh, well, they're stuck in their ways, blah, 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 like they're just stubborn. Or the other side is, well, they know their value, they know their worth, they're standing in it because that, they know that they're not being fulfilled however they want to be. So that's what I was saying. There's like this dynamic here going on where some people perceive you as trying to heal a situation and make things better, and that's what the separation is all about, versus other people are just seeing you as being kind of stuck in your ways, being childish, being dramatic, and just wanting your cake and eating it too, which, two sides to the same coin, honestly, in a lot of ways. It just depends on how you look at it. So I feel like a lot of people, that are looking at you, there is a lot of people kind of being, I want to say, on the fence. Like they don't know exactly how to like take it. They don't really know how to, what side to be on. I want to say at one point they'll be on one side and then the next day they're on the next. Like people aren't very stable and secure in their position when it comes to like perceiving you. Yeah, because we have the child orphan here in the Knight. Independence based on learning to go at it alone, conquering fear of surviving, feelings of abandonment that stifle maturation, seeking inappropriate surrogate families. Loyalty, romance, and chivalry, a love of honor, allegiance to a destructive ruler, a principle of romantic delusion. So I feel like people are seeing you also as being someone who's kind of looking for somebody to like help you feel better here. Like the nurturing energy that's coming in. Also, when you look at the Hierophant, I mean, these women are serving him to the T. They're trying to please him in every way. So there's something here about, I think, you searching a kind of indulgent energy of satisfaction. Maybe you quite literally are moving on to other options and moving on and entertaining other people. And now it's just kind of being perceived as like you not necessarily knowing like how to be alone or something like that, or having a fear of being alone. So you're using your energy to try to like persuade people or bring, I don't know, just jumping from another person, like from one person to the next. Like that could be a perception of you right now. But I'm thinking of that mirroring energy that we had. So maybe this person in particular, your ex, is doing very similar things and calling it, you know, Sapat calling the kettle black, or something I saw. It said, like, the call is coming from inside the house. Like, there's something here about just not recognizing your own influence in this chaos. So maybe note that, you know, maybe people are perceiving that you are kind of adding shit to this storm and are not necessarily recognizing why you're receiving this kind of issue over and over and over again. You know, that could be the habit that is coming up. But like I said, though, you're working on healing. As much as that might look messy or confusing to other people, I feel like truly you are trying your best to get out of a situation that you know needs to end, you know, and the only way to do that is to accept the karmic responsibilities that come up. And even if that, you know, makes you feel rejected or scared or something of that nature, like, have the confidence in the face of that anyways, and fight for yourself anyways, and know that in the long term you can make things happen just because you hold yourself to a certain kind of value. And you're aware of this right now more than any time. Yeah, we have control here. Like, you're aware of this and you're trying to take control of your life. And you know, the way that other people might see that because they're getting the boot might be more negative, but I feel like nonetheless, like, you're trying to find your footing again. You know, you're trying to get going towards the next thing and to the next step because you feel like you've been blocked from that for so long. And now it's time for you to, like I said, gain this kind of control over yourself again. Yeah, we have blessing. Let's get one more. And round and round. Exactly. This karmic energy is coming to an end. You're learning how to control it, and it's slowly but surely becoming a blessing in your life. I feel like people are seeing you as having kind of this energy of blessing, like, coming into your life. Like, there's good things that are coming to you, which undeniably show that you know, deserve them in a way. You had some kind of, like, energy that brought this to you, and that's undeniable. And I feel like that is this kind of good belief that you've had in yourself, that you knew eventually your good energy would come back to you. And now you're kind of being the one to instill that. Like, if anything, I should say you're being the one to bring this good energy back to you. I actually just posted about this on my Instagram account, about how if you want karma to work, like, just cut your cords with that person. Like, stop the drama, stop feeding into it, and make, you know, when we cut our cords like that, it makes energy just kind of slingshot back to the person. Like, now they have to deal with their shit because you're not trying to, like, meddle in their energy and deal with it for them. And that's kind of what's happening here. And that's the blessing, is like, you're releasing a kind of control to gain a kind of control. And that is a super big blessing in your life right now. I love that. Group 3, I hope this message resonated for you guys. And if it did, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. And of course, subscribe to my channel for more intuitively channeled messages like so. If you want to book a personal reading with me, check the link down below to my snip feed as always, or you can email me, whatever works best. But otherwise, I'm going to skedaddle, and I hope to see you guys in a later video. Peace.